golf course, because you know what you see visually, the greens don't quite do exactly what you see, because there is that, you know, I call it the invisible push that you have from the north on this property. That's that gradual slope going down the hill. So his putt looks like it's uphill, and it is a little bit, but it's downhill from the mountain, so it should be a little quicker than the players think at times.
It's interesting to watch. The more I watch his putting grip, Dennis, he's got hardly any of that right hand on that putter at all.
It's, you know, I'm trying to understand why he's gone to this. You know, did he have that flashing slap, you know, call it a yip, call it whatever you want, and he's got it, because it still looks like he's releasing that putter a little bit, even though he's only got 2 fingers on there. If you really look at it, Jay, and you really narrow down, look at it, there, he's a releaser of the putter. He's not a dragger of the putter. And how hard is it to be a releaser of the putter if you only got 2 fingers on it? And that's where that comes from your right hand.
Well, as we watch Snedeker contemplate what he has left, yeah, well, Will lost it there for a little while in college and his amateur days, and so that's how he ended up, through a lot of experimentation, ended up where he is right now with his putting. Good look for Brandt.
And Brandt's a much different putter. He's a popper, yes, but he also, it's a drag that with the right hand really never smacks it as much as it's just driving it with the back of the left hand to the ball. It's just short through, the ball's already gone. You know, I mean, that's, everybody says, oh, you got to finish your stroke, you got to finish your stroke. The ball's already gone. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're not wishing it in. And I love the positivity in his stroke. That's the way, he strokes it the way I used to when I was in college. And my coach made me change to make it more fluid, because I became a blocker of the putter, and I always wanted to be a releaser. Leash needs this one. After not birding 18, this has got to go.
It does.
He's got a little,
and we're going to have
all to the players. That's what it looks like.
Cooch with that patented closed stance, and watch this club come a little from the outside and across and start further left than he's aiming. And he does it every time.
Wow.
It sure did take a couple of big bounces.
I gotta believe Matsuyama's gonna bring this one in from upstairs.
Yeah, well done.
Can you get it close? How about this? The closest shot today here at the second, Tom Hoagie hit it 21 feet.
That doesn't happen very often on the PGA Tour, like never. Hudson's going to be playing a little left or right shot in here as well.
Go, chunk it, baby, go.
Closest of the day.
There you go, it's Hudson. Did you hear what he said?
Chunked it.
Chunked it, baby. Oh my gosh. And hit a thin one every once in a while. Let's see what kind of lie Cooch has got here.
This is dirty looking. Down grain though.
He made it.
Oh. Can't quick call him, Jay. You can't do that to him.
I thought it was only when I did it to myself.
Wow. He made that look simple.
You see the little bitty motion he made there too, and how much, folks, how much the club head swung. You see so many amateurs.
And how big of a star Hideki and of course Tiger are.
Well, and you know, and this was another thing that I wanted to bring up. When he won the Masters, what do you think that did for golf in the East? I mean, that was the most impactful win in the last 10 years. on the PGA Tour in terms of spurring people into the game, I believe.
So Hudson Swafford, after close today. What is this, going just a little bit to the right?
It's got to fall just towards the front of the green. Well, if you'd have told him on the tee you're going to hit it a little high on the face and chunk it, and you're going to hit it close, he'd have said, huh?
What's he only missed one green? One under par.
His third birdie of the day. One of the things I notice whenever Hideki's playing is his outfits all match up. When I played, I brought 2 pair of shoes, and sometimes I didn't even, I wore the most comfortable pair. I'm like,
194 yards today, Dennis.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's on the green, this flagstick. It's so far left. The smart play is out in the middle, and I think that's the thing. It's going to be hard to hit it close, as you guys mentioned earlier. And Leash didn't get it all the way up on top. But that's not a bad spot. I mean, it's going to go across the brow of the bunker. That miss is a lot better. That chip shot that Matt Kuchar hit was just exquisite. I mean, it's not that easy. Well, he likes to hit a little bit of a draw at times. Looks like his legs are just running out from underneath him a little bit, and he's not able to catch up to it. He's hit a lot of shots like that, and then the wedge shots that he's had today have all been little tugs. It's interesting, but a lot of this is as green a light as you can get for Sneds. Like I said, it's a tight little draw. I don't know, there's no way you can get it close to the hole, because if you hit short of the hole, it hits off the brow of that bunker, and it just hits on a downslope, and it'll skip on one hop all the way to the hole. Start in the middle, trying to get it to hook, as he said. That's way right over in the right bunker.
A lot of work left to do here at the second for our pars.
Right bunker tip.
Hudson Swafford here at the third. Pay attention to his backswing, where the position is at the top. His coach, Scott Hamilton, talks about when a club gets laid off a little bit, Jay, at the top.
and that club, the position we were talking about.
This cavern of a bunker Snedeker's found. Oh, sublime stuff. Kuchar. Can we get a replay of the Hudson Swafford swing in slow motion? Thank you. All right,
One
short
of the
grass.
things we noticed is that he's hitting more fairways in this golf course really way.
Dennis, lofted club for Zalatoris.
Yeah, it looks like he's using a sandwich. Maybe going to take out the first half of it. Hitting that little low one, trying to get it to grab, and now it's got to slow down a little. You mentioned bogey free just a moment ago.
Hideki. Boy, he's got a lot of confidence right now in that club.
Man, he's hitting a lot of straight shots, isn't he?
Not quite as much
These
loss for
shots right
Leash.
here, Mark Leishman's. No, he's so good at these. He's outstanding with his backyard, all the little shots that he hits there.
Boy, that looks so.
The thing that I love about Leishman's short game is that on those little short chip shots, he actually toes it down and kind of releases it and takes spin off. It's always tumbling. You can hit it a lot easier if you've never tried that before. And you've got a good pair of hands. It's a great way to chip around the greens.
I did that.
I'm staying out of the middle of that one between you two. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there.
Snedeker had a little bit of a glimmer in his eye and a wry smile on his face after making that up and down. This little bundle of joy is not easy.
No, it's not. It should be left edge.
This morning on the putting green, but did not notice it yesterday.
So nobody hit the green and everybody made par.
Still not on the tee, even after we
For par, so as we predicted, that group plays fast, and they've dusted the group behind them as Swafford swipes away at the third.
He and his golf swing are just a little out of sorts.
Better angle for Cooch.
I don't think he was taken on that back hole location there. And he's trying to hoist those short irons way up in the air. It's obviously a wedge. You can tell by the back of that iron he's holding. Much more of an abbreviated finish, Ned. There wasn't that thrash. And
I get over the trees now. Yeah.
you heard Leash, I can get it over the tree. That's the side of the tree he's trying to take it over.
The first oak tree, he's got no problem. The second one's about 290. That one's not gettable right now. It's playing back into a gentle breeze. He's quick to pick it up, so it must be peeling off of it a little bit. No, and it catches the oak tree. I don't see it down. I got a great Marshall story for you guys. There's a guy getting yelled at to stop, stand still, be still. Marshall, be still, be still. Well, he was replacing a guy named Marshall, and he didn't know that they were talking to him. And he goes, "My name's Steve. Come on, man. I'm sorry. I replaced Marshall."
Well,
that was a good drive, but not a good line up through the fairway.
Split those tree trunks through the fairway.
Sned's on the tee here. This is a good looking shaped hole for him. The camber of the fairway, it's a little bit of a bubble fairway till you get it all the way up on top. But that's a good 300 yards away. Brandt quick to pick up the tee, started that down the right center and turning it over. That's perfect, right in the middle of the fairway.
Kuchar.
Long range. We have not seen Matt with a lot of long putts today. He has worked that.
Was significantly more difficult.
Yeah, so for the morning round, it played almost 1.5 strokes under par for the morning wave, and in the afternoon it was about 0.75, almost exactly half as easy.
Come on.
Boy, that ball ran out of juice quickly, didn't it, Ned? It's a great look from the camera. Great shot, guys.
I love the story that his wife tells. Said it's not very handy, to the point where changing a light bulb is an accomplishment. And she actually said in his toolbox, she once found fingernail clippers. So he is a golfer and a fisher and a hunter, but don't ask him to do any handiwork around the house.
Hey, you got to stay in your lane, right?
That's right. So Hideki has gotten it hole high, which is a good accomplishment rather here at the third.
We haven't seen many balls hole high here. Look at how tight this hole is located to that back edge, Ned. I mean, that is a half of an unpredictable bounce, and you're going to be back in that high stuff back there.
Is there much movement here?
I think this is actually going to go to his left, toward the back of the green, as that green kind of cambers away. I'm wrong, because look how far left he's aiming it, but it looks like, to me, like this ball's going to go left at the back part of the green.
That is the anatomy and blueprint of how to make birdie here at the third. Smoke a driver down the middle, hit a wedge, hole high, and knock it home.
Cooch has got this for par. He's handled these beautifully so far.
Ball sitting down a little bit, it looks like, from our vantage point here, Dennis. Just on the front, and you had to guard against that big jumper and going over the green, right?
And you'd have to think that that ball's going to have at least 10 yards of release.
They did.
Now for Brandt, it's time to knock one close.
Perfect right here for Sneds. This is an attacker. Get up.
Oh, that's almost 2 clubs short, Ned.
Dennis, any breeze or anything? I mean, you could understand why Mark's maybe came up out of the rough, came up short, but Brandt's was in the mayor's office.
There is a 1 to 2 yard puff maybe back into the players right now, and you're right about, you were talking about the overcast. It's actually sunk down a little bit. It's starting to lighten a little bit, but it's very similar to what we had yesterday. This lie, really thick for Will. He's got to play left. All of his wedges have been left today. So I would expect it left, and that's where it is. Not a bad play.
Well over 30 feet. This is such a quirky tee shot, isn't it?
That's a perfect word for it, Ned. I mean, you've got to, whatever shot shape you're going to choose is going to have to start more left than you're comfortable with, because the fairway is going to run it to the right once it gets to the ground.
Well, for Matt, who likes to work the ball left to right, hard to find the fairway. Let's see if he can manipulate the ball and kind of produce a little tight draw.
Look how closed he is here, Ned. Just really crossed up in that setup.
53 feet, Dennis, and 4 inches.
Well, it's going to have to travel more than that, because this is going to be coming in from the left. It's got it started out there a couple of feet at least, and it's so hard to get it to the hole. How slow is that? And then as it makes that swing, it's not uphill anymore, so it's going to continue to go on, and that's what makes this putt so tough to get close to the hole. Excellent. Marry that speed with a line naturally, but this is easily out a couple feet.
Just snaps its face off the last 3 feet.
Ned, I love the worm cam, or the cameras that are right on the ground. It gives the folks a really true idea how much movement is in that last putt.
You don't even putt those anymore.
Right to the cart.
Tricky one here for Matsuyama.
missing the right edge of that tree.
Snedeker knocking that in. 2 putts makes his par as well, but he'd be disappointed not to have had.
Well, if Matsuyama just had trouble keeping it on the green, I got to believe he's got to be shooting towards the front right portion of the green there. I don't know. Right of the bunker, somewhere in this area over here.
Oh, he's going to the left side. Interesting. He'll leave himself an uphill pitch shot from there.
He chose going left. That tree kind of blocked our view. I didn't even realize that was an option for Cooch, but he's having a hell of a round. 5 under par for the round today, and doing a lot of things well. So does he play more conventional shot net, or does he try to fat this one?
Right. That was right over the smokestack. And if you're just joining us, Jay's talking about
Leishman here on the tee. Just got to get this ball in the fairway. It's a very tough fairway to hit. Don't care what club it is off the tee. Always make a joke. I got 14 of them, and none of them are good. And that one took a massive kick to the right in the rough.
We can see a lot of that ball, so
a hit driver here yesterday, Dennis, and he
now.
almost got it too close.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and where the hole location is today, just behind the hole is going to be fine. It's just over the top of that bunker, but if he puts it in the fairway, you know, he makes it pretty simple. And that ball started down the right side, turning over towards the center, but it might chase through on that line. I'm not sure from my vantage point.
just catches the first cut. Just missed the fairway by a bit.
What temp?
Yeah.
Young guys hit drivers, older guys that don't hit it as far don't hit drivers. It's a different game, gentlemen. It's just a different game. This is way left. And it looked like a cart path also.
So a couple of clicks off the cart path, and then it rattles in the trees. And Snedeker has got a lot of work left to figure out a way to make four. Up ahead, Cooch. Looks like a long club, Jay.
Yeah, wow. Ned, that had to be because of the lie. He played a bunker shot, which is so unusual because he couldn't have been more than a couple of feet off the edge of the green. That ball had to be sitting in some really nasty grass. Odd, wasn't it, Ned, to see that big a swing from that close to the edge of the green?
Sure was.
Well, now we know what number ball he plays.
This is going to be a good test for Hideki because the whole location, it goes up the hill and then over the brow and then runs away from him, so your speed better be right on it.
Looked like it hopped out of that fringe there, Ned. Great call.
3. Still like that number?
I do. We don't have any wind. It's really similar to me, not being on the ground over there like Dennis is, but similar to me to yesterday. It just looks a lot the same.
A lot of head shake. So this to stay just one back.
Got that left wrist concaved and this right just fires through.
Just sneaks it in, a diving catch and a beauty.
Ned, if that was your ball, would you have thought that ball was going to hang on? Boy, he walked that one in, didn't he?
Dennis, did anybody